What's poppin', world? Another video for y'all. Y'all read the title. Let's get straight into it. These are my 3 levels of financial literacy. You feel me? Just some on the surface economics, if you will. So let's get straight into it, right? So, first introduction or first phase of financial literacy. It's cash, right? How's cash acquired? Going to work, investing, so on and so forth, right? There's multiple ways of acquiring cash, because cash is the currency of where we're at right now, right? So that's phase number 1, right? Cash, just the transactions that you're able to make purchases on, so on and so forth, right? So that's number 1. The second phase is credit. Credit is, first of all, the cheat code of actually being able to get credit cards and stuff like that. If you have no credit, gotta get a secure credit card. And, after maybe a month or 2, boost your credit score up. And if you keep it within 10% of how much you spent, definitely boost your credit score up, and then you'll be getting offers in the mail, right? So after you get into the credit game, right, you actually have a credit score. Your credit utilization, you feel me, is at a minimum like 10%. So if you got 3 credit cards, for example, and each of them is $1,000 a piece, right? That would equal up to $3,000. So that would mean that you would have to have $300 as a threshold to play around with, monthly, right? Just to keep a healthy amount of credit utilization that you're using it or whatever, right? So after you acquire credit, it opens up so many doors and opportunities, because then you're able to increase your credit line, right? So you can go from $3,000 to $5,000, $10,000, so on and so forth, right? Better rates on cars, better rates on housing, personal loans, business loans, anything that has to do with acquiring assets, like hard, tangible assets, you feel me? All that becomes a lot more accessible, right? So here we are with the infamous third phase, which some would see is the opposite of credit, which is debt. And this is where things get a lot of complex, because then you have to really unlearn and relearn everything that got you up to this point, far as being able to utilize your credit, right? So once you're financially literate to I can say to the highest level, you want to take on debt, because now you don't want to pay nothing off, but you want to own a lot, right? And what I mean by that is, here's an example. So when you have the credit and you have the credit, you put a down payment on a house, you get a house, and then let's say, for instance, the house increases on property value. Now you have liquidable equity in the house that you can take out, or you can put a loan against your mortgage for the extra amount or the difference of how much the property values went up, right? You can either A, take that liquidity or that equity and pay off your mortgage further along, so you do have little payments, or you can put that more towards your original loan that you took out. Because even though it went up in property value, that 30-year fix, the keyword is fixed, that fixed amount is still what you have to pay for, regardless of how much the house goes up or goes down in property value, right? So you can take that money, put more payments further along so you can get closer to owning the house, right? Or you can take that equity and then you can use that as another down payment to go into more debt, right? To go into more debt, because on the surface, you're just owing more money, right? But below the surface, you actually have more money because you have more stuff by your name. So then the second house, it gains equity. You can take that out and you can just go deeper and deeper and deeper into debt. But see, debt makes money as well, depending if it's healthy debt. There's bad debt and there's good debt. There's good credit, there's bad credit, right? When people hear debt, it definitely has a negative connotation on it because most of the time you owing somebody, but it's how you owe them is the key. So when you have a healthy amount of debt, then it's just kind of like, I was hearing this video yesterday, right? Jerry Jones, that owned the Cowboys, right? That owns the Cowboys. The Cowboys was going for about $150 million when he bought it, right? $150 million. But he only had to put up front $12 million. So despite him not having the entire amount, he sat up there and put a fraction of how much it's worth as a down payment. And I'm pretty sure you have to make payments to own the team. Well, if you have an analogy would be somewhat of a money tree, then the property pretty much buys itself because it's always increasing, it's evergreen, it's always going to increase in value due to the kind of market that it's in, right? So that's the same thing with housing, or the same thing with the S&P 500. These are business models or assets that's built to last. You feel me? It's like if you understand the financial system, these are probably like the last set of things to fall before the whole financial system collapses. So, putting it in the short terms, you just owning your piece of the country, right? You now own a piece of the country. That's the best way to do it. But, I went on a tangent and all that, but those are the three literacies of credit or just finances in general. Because, like I said, when you start off from the first level, you don't know nothing about, interest, insurance, HOA, all these fees, property taxes, closing costs, down payment, principal, interest, like all these economic and financial terms until you place in that position where you have to be literate enough to understand what is and what isn't. Because then on the surface, and I don't want to go too deep in the weeds with that, but the main point is that whatever level you're on, whether it's on the wealth side, it takes a certain level of, like I said, literacy and understanding to know how to manage all of this, right? Because somebody can put the tools in front of you, but if you don't know how to put it to work, it can work against you. So, that being said, comments, thoughts, leave those below. More videos on the way. I'm gone.